In some states, you can drive 40 miles and pass nothing but empty parking lots and for lease signs. That is what shopping looks like in 2026. So let me ask you this. How far do you drive right now for real shopping? Not a gas station, a full grocery, a pharmacy, a store where you can actually choose. Because what used to be called retail decline has turned into something harsher. Retail deserts. Whole areas where stores did not just get worse, they disappeared. In this video, we are looking at 10 states where that future is already here and what it means if your town starts to look like their towns. A retail desert is not one closed store. It is when the last supermarket, the last pharmacy, and the last general store vanish or move far away. On a map, the area still looks normal. On the ground, people are stretching medicine, skipping fresh food, and planning their lives around one long trip each week. When every store is gone, the question isn't where you will shop, it's how you will survive. Right now, tens of millions of Americans already live with poor access to a full grocery or pharmacy. In some states, more than a quarter of the population is in what experts call a pharmacy desert. In others, most counties have no easy place to fill a prescription at all. That is before more closures hit in 2026. As you listen, count how many warning signs you see in your own state. If you recognize your area, write your state in the comments. Let us start in New England with Maine and Vermont. Both are rural, older, and full of tiny towns. Over the last decade, Maine has already lost a noticeable chunk of its pharmacies. Vermont faces the same pattern. When one chain closes a handful of locations, the hit is not spread out. It lands on small communities that had one store to begin with. Suddenly, that quick refill becomes a 30 or 40-minute drive each way. Picture a snowstorm in January. Roads are slick. You are low on heart pills or an inhaler for your kid. The pharmacy that used to be 5 minutes away is gone. The next one is across a county line. That is the new normal for many families in Maine and Vermont. If you live there, how far are you from the nearest full grocery or pharmacy today? 5 minutes, 20, more. Put the number in the comments. Now move south to West Virginia. This state already fights high poverty and hard terrain. Many small towns sit in hills where there is no big mall, no chain grocery, and one or two main roads. When the last supermarket or drugstore closes, people lean on old cars, friends with trucks, or church groups just to get basic supplies. Ask yourself a simple question. If your car broke down tomorrow, could you still get groceries and medicine without begging for rides? Many families in West Virginia cannot say yes anymore. Head into the plains of South Dakota. There you get a different shape of the same problem. Huge distances, tiny towns. A single grocery or pharmacy serving thousands of square miles. When that store shuts, people are left with either an hour-long drive or small gas station markets where everything costs more and almost nothing is fresh. If you live in a rural state, I want you to count the real grocery stores within 20 miles of your home. Not dollar chains, not gas stations, actual markets. Put that number in the comments. It will shock some people reading this. Now look at Illinois. On the surface, it has Chicago, suburbs, malls, and big box strips. Step outside that bubble, and you see a different map. Most counties in Illinois are now at risk for weak pharmacy access. When big chains close underperforming stores, they often pick locations in poor neighborhoods and rural towns. The city still has options. The smaller places lose their only one. Michigan is on a similar path. This state has already watched more than 100 pharmacies close in a short span. Each closure is not just a sign coming down. Thousands of people are forced to move prescriptions, travel farther, and make hard choices about which trips they can afford in gas and time. If you are in Illinois or Michigan, have you seen a grocery, pharmacy, or general store close near you in the last few years? Drop the store name in the comments so others see how common this is. Now look at Texas. People picture endless shopping near Dallas or Houston, but they forget the small towns. Around the edges of cities and across rural counties, millions of Texans now live in areas where pharmacy access is thin and food choices are limited. When one supermarket leaves, the replacement, is often a dollar store with few fresh options or a long drive to a bigger city. Think about an older person who no longer drives at night or a single parent working 2 jobs. A simple refill for blood pressure pills can become a half-day event. A trip for fresh vegetables can feel like a luxury. If you are in Texas, how often have you said, "I will grab it next week when I am near the big store," because you did not want to waste a drive? Type yes if that line feels familiar. On the other side of the country, California and Oklahoma share a strange link. Both have counties with very few pharmacies per person. In California, that shows up in farm towns and inland areas far from the coast. In Oklahoma, it hits small plains towns. As chains close locations and independent shops struggle, more of these regions slip into desert status. People might pass fast food and gas stations, but no real retail. Ask yourself, if your main grocery closed this year, would that push you to move, or would you try to stay? Your answer says a lot about how fragile your local setup really is. Finally, we come to New Hampshire, the 10th state on this list. It looks small and rich from far away, but many people there live in rural pockets and aging mill towns. A growing share now fall into pharmacy desert zones. For someone with chronic illness, that is not a small change. Distance can mean skipped doses, late refills, and health problems that pile up quietly. Now, zoom out. One state loses 10% of its pharmacies. Another sees most of its counties labeled at risk. Another watches its only supermarket close in town after town. Stack that on top of rising rents, higher gas prices, and medical bills, and you get the real picture. Retail deserts are not just about fewer stores. They are about life getting harder and shorter in certain zip codes. For families, this means more hours on the road and less time at home. More meals built from whatever is close, not what is healthy. More last-minute choices between gas for the car and co-pays for a doctor visit. You start to delay checkups. You stretch medicine, you make do. For small towns, it means fewer reasons to stay. When the last supermarket, pharmacy, and general store disappear, young people leave. Jobs in retail, trucking, and support dry up. Property values stall. Empty windows and for lease signs send a clear message. No one is coming to save this place. For the country, it means the gap between wealthy areas and everyone else grows wider. Some neighborhoods enjoy a full grocery, a strong pharmacy, and same-day delivery. Others have one struggling discount store and a half-empty strip mall. Over time, that gap shows up in health, school results, and even lifespan. So where does that leave you? First, do a quick audit of your own life. How many full grocery stores, pharmacies, and general stores are in a 20-minute drive? Are those numbers growing, shrinking, or holding steady? Be honest with yourself, even if you do not like the answer. Second, pay attention when a store says it might close or review locations. That sign in the window is not just a business notice. It is a warning. Once a key store leaves a small town, it rarely comes back. Third, if you still have local stores, support them when you can. No one expects you to ignore sales or blow your budget, but a steady pattern of buying basics at the real grocery instead of only at chains or gas stations can help keep doors open. In the comments, tell us the last store that closed near you that really hurt. Was it a grocery, pharmacy, or general retailer? Naming it helps other people see this is not abstract. If this video made you look at your own map differently, tap like. Share it with someone who keeps saying, "There are still plenty of stores, it will be fine," and has not noticed how many windows are dark now. And if you are tired of being told everything is fine while your town loses the places that made daily life possible, hit subscribe. This channel is for people who want clear, honest talk about how the economy changes real streets and real families before the last lights go out on their own block.